Hello everyone, welcome to my session 10 teaching memo, and session 11 assignments will follow. I hope you're all rested and rejuvenated and ready to finish the semester strong. Not much happening up here in Dutchess County. We attended a memorial service for Dr. Laura's dad, and she gave the eulogy. It was sad but nice. We got to see relatives and friends, many who we don't see very often. Unfortunately, that's one of the good things that happens from these kind of events. There's good news and bad news. And the sun is shining this morning up here in Poughkeepsie. 50-degree weather is predicted. So when that happens, it's always a great day for a walk on the rail trail. Got some great rail trails up here in Dutchess and Ulster County. If you guys are interested in bike riding or even going for a nice walk over the walkway over the Hudson in Poughkeepsie. It's a state park, Linear State Park. A little housekeeping. I received some panicky emails over the weekend and on Sunday night as usual. Sunday is my busiest email day. The semester is quickly ending and there will be no more new assignments. So you've received everything, including the three-part analytic summary, which I've added to your anchor activities the last couple of sessions. Everyone should check their grades and make sure you're not missing anything. So go to my grades and go through them and make sure there's no blank areas. Some of the quizzes, I know a lot of people are missing that first DEJ on response to intervention. So make sure you get those things in, even though I only give a 50, because it's a grading practice, it doesn't store achievement. Make sure you get those done. I made a typo on my remind message. One person caught it. The semester ends on December 17th, which is a Monday, not December 13th, which is a Thursday. Although in the past, the semester has always ended on a Thursday. I don't know why, but it's always been a short session, the last session. But this semester, it ends on the 17th. All right, let me talk a little bit about session 10. Your revised selected response test was due yesterday, so you should have posted it. And a lot of people emailed, not a lot, but excuse me, people emailed me and said nobody is posted in my session, so I can't take anybody's test. That always happens. You have to take the test in the coming session and then repost it in that same discussion board. So don't panic. People will be taking them this week, and you will be getting enough data to make your three-part analytic summary. So you're going to analyze that data, and there are some. I have some exemplar three-part analytic summaries, of course, and of course I have a video where I tell you what my expectations are. And thank you for those of you who gave me a shout out in your initial post for this discussion board, that you felt my grading practices and my assessment for learning process was one that you wanted to emulate. Okay, I will be grading your double entry journals on the test prep chapter, Popham's test prep chapter. Some of those that I've graded already are excellent. They're written in a conversational tone. People are having a dialogue with the author, with the text. They're connecting seamlessly and not forcing connections to my presentation, to some of the engaging test prep articles, some of the stress relief articles. Now, many of you have talked about stress and how it's an issue, and that's why tests are bad, yet nobody talks about, well, are there things we can do to relieve stress? Aha. Aha moment. And yes, there are. Meditation, breathing, yoga, exercises that we can do. So, and the big one is confidence. We make our students confident that they can do this. This is important. You can do it. and I won't give up on you. Grading practices can be what I call ego-based. Popham, way back in the bias chapter, mentions the halo effect. That's on page 215 if you want to go check that out, where, quote, if a teacher has a favorable attitude towards a student, the student will receive a host of positive ratings. And we know that, and that's why we do anonymous grading. Those of us who can't control our egos, there's blind grading, anonymous grading, where we don't know who the student is. So and that's how powerful the ego is. The ego is also involved when it comes to giving zeros and not accepting late work. When you hear someone talk about assignments not accepted in the real world, quote unquote, we're preparing students for real life. That's the ego speaking. What the person really is saying, at least in my opinion, is I don't want to take the time in grading those assignments handed in late. It's your fault. Get your act together. My wife, who's not best at data, took 4 attempts to get one report right that she had to give to the superintendent. Did she lose pay? Did she get fired? No. I think you know the answer to that. That is real life. We do it till we get it right. Your boss doesn't say, oh, that's wrong, forget about it, don't do it. That's real life. So when we talk about, if a kid does nothing, they deserve nothing, just think about your ego. Think about what that's saying. Yeah, deserves nothing. And it's really your ego that you have to leave at the door. A 50 is failing. You're not giving the kid any break. I mean, when people get 50s in my class, they're failing. It's an F on their report. I was going to say report card, but on their transcript, an F is an F. Nobody sees your grade and says it's a 0. Oh, that kid got a 0. That kid got a 50. In my class, I don't deduct points for work handed in late. I do stop grading discussion boards because you can't have a discussion with yourself. I guess you can, but people in the white coats might be coming. And the lowest mark I give is a 50. So even an assignment that you never handed in, you get a 50. You all know that, but 90 to 95% of you still work hard all the time. Why? Aren't you angry that your classmates get away with being late or being docked more severely? I mean, there are so many DEJs that haven't been finished for this semester, and I understand why, because there's a lot of work. So I'm not docking you, but you will get it done. I know you will, and I'm going to grade it like I graded if you handed in last night. So it's all about the culture you create in your class. Equal is not always fair, and when those of you that haven't been involved in the discussion board yet, you will see I've already made that comment to many of you. Fair is not always equal. So when you hear people say that's not fair, this kid that handed it in right on time, he gets punished. No, he doesn't get punished. He gets the grade he deserves. Just like the kid who hands it in 2 days late, and who knows why he handed it in late, and who are we to make the judgment as to why that he handed it in late. You want to focus on mastery. This is the most important thing. That is real life. That is our job, is to get students to mastery, not to come up with all these rules where they're losing points, which are not motivational. Those of you that think zeros are motivational, you're absolutely wrong. What they do is they force kids to give up hope. A 0? Think about it. I get 3 80s, and then my last semester I get a 0 because whatever happened. I just lost all motivation. I had issues at home. So average those. 80, 80, 80, 240. Now divide it by 4, that's a 60. That's failing. Now 80, 80, 80, and a 50, that's 242. It's 240 plus 50 is 290. Now that's like a 70-something, a 75. Okay, that's still probably not what that kid should get if he's allowed to do that work. but still, it's much more reflective than failing. I do want to share an interesting article about a Canadian teacher being suspended for giving zeros, acting in opposition to the school district's policy. This isn't written by the teacher, but it's written by someone with an ego. You will get a taste of ego-based rationale that will encourage. Giving a zero promotes accountability, and not giving them will encourage laziness and apathy. I haven't found one student in my courses, because I don't give zeros, because I give 50s, has become lazy or apathetic. Not one. Maybe they are, I don't know. But from what I have people that are constantly saying, Dr. Tom, I had issues, I was in the hospital, my father died, etc., etc. There's things that happen to people that cause them not to get work done. And if I treated you all the same, that certainly wouldn't be fair. And if you read this article, you'll see that this person's ego is called calling names, snowflakes. You're never stupid, you magical snowflakes. And that's not why we do it. We don't do it because we're not trying to hurt their feelings. That has got nothing to do with it. It does have something to do with it about giving up hope. When students lose hope, then we've lost them. And that's what we need to not do. So you read this article. It's in the written portion of the teaching memo, and you'll get a taste for ego-based rationale. Okay, that's it. Make sure you watch my assignment video, which is in the assignment learning assignments, learning activities folder. Before you click on the folder, you'll click on that video.